If you're one of the millions who believe their physician will save you, I want you to listen closely. You can eat clean, move daily, take your supplements, and prioritize sleep. But if you blindly trust a healthcare system driven by profit, you're still at risk. Modern medicine shines in emergencies, but often fails in prevention, personalization, and true healing. Too often, patients face unnecessary procedures, excessive testing, and drug dependency, not always for better outcomes, but for financial gain. Medical error is now the third leading cause of death in the United States, and that should make you pause. Your health habits matter, but they're not enough to protect you from a system that doesn't always prioritize your well-being. Joining us now is Russ Scala with Scala Precision Health to discuss the benefits of advanced metabolic testing in navigating this crisis and the future of medicine. Russ, welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. I always enjoy working with you. You do your homework, and I love being here.
And you always leave me with my mind spinning with new information and a lot of things to think about. And I think we're going to dive into that now and leave our viewers with a lot to talk about as well.
Well, I think one of the things I've always studied how you transfer learning to behavior.
Sure.
And if what I'm saying resonates with you as a citizen, then I know we hit a home run. So your feedback's important.
Thank you. I think we hit a lot of home runs. I want to talk about where you see the future of medicine in 2 years. I know that may seem like a short time span, but a lot can happen. Where do you see that?
Yeah, it's amazing. People are smart.
Yeah.
They're learning to do their own they're doing their own research. They're questioning their doctors. They're running their own lab work, and they're forming communities. Mm-hmm. It's amazing to see it. This wasn't happening 5 years ago. So if a person's told they need an antidepressant, they'll come back to the doctor and say, why don't you check my thyroid? That's a home run, right? I mean, why don't you check my hormonal levels? So these people are now pushing back and asking questions. And a while back, I think you and I talked about the citizen science movement.
We did.
Yeah, so the physicians that I'm talking to now, and I don't downplay physicians. We've got 155 medical schools in this country. Mm-hmm. They don't teach nutrition. So how do we expect a doctor to talk about diet and nutrition? He's not trained in it. So again, not giving a shot to the doctors, but I help the doctor and the patient build a therapeutic relationship, or a doctor will call me and say, Russ, I really want a good weight loss program that works for everybody. I know everybody's using Wegovy and GLP-1 right now. What else can we do? And I work with that doctor and develop a good symbiotic program for him and his patients to get the right answers. So in 2005, I've trained over 150 physicians in like a 2-year period, and I was director of research for pharmacy. One thing I learned about training those physicians is that I had to explain to them and show them our compounding pharmacy products, whether it was hormones or nutrition, so they could work with their patients and learn how to do the dosing and the testing. So that was an eye-opener for me.
Well, why aren't more doctors incorporating advanced metabolic testing? You mentioned how patients are pushing back and taking charge of their health care, but why we should be able to trust our medical providers to already be doing those things for us? Why is that not so common right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, the doctors, again, they're handcuffed by insurance companies. Doctors many times have told me, Russ, I can't do this. I got to see 30 people a day in order to pay the bills.
Okay.
They can't incorporate anything else right now. So individual physicians, VIP doctors that are out there charging a lot of money. Like I had a client tell me, I've got this VIP doctor, he makes house calls. I go, what else does he do? He goes, that's it. I go, what's he charging you? And he told me, I said, oh my God. I said, he's not doing anything advanced? And he said, no. So, I mean, you know, I try to help. You know, the physicians that want to develop something new, we call it a blue ocean strategy. Yeah. They want to separate themselves from the other physicians and do something unique in their practice that really helps people. Those are my best go-to docs.
So then the patients who want a doctor, such as what you're describing, and they don't feel their physician is that type of person, what can they do to acquire that type of testing and improve their quality of life?
They could call Scala Precision Health. We could help them with the testing and the advanced treatment protocols. That's one thing we do. And then we can help them find a physician I can educate the physician on what lab work to order. So some patients have a general practitioner they want me to talk to, and then I build a therapeutic relationships between their general practitioner and the patient. Sometimes I get pushback because when I order blood work, I tell the general practitioner, order this blood work. And he says, well, I'm not going to know what to do when it comes back because this is not my area. I go, well, I'm going to help you with that. So again, it's a evolving process. There's a lot of trust there.
Of course.
I want them to do a due diligence on me. After our conversation, I go, take a week and drill down on what I've done over the last 40 years. And if you think I could help you, call me back and we'll work something out.
Are you able to share with us a real life example of a patient that was taking down the wrong road and got sicker, and the steps that could have been made if things had gone differently?
Well, I'll use the people that are near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
Is I was a paramedic in the 80s attached to the SWAT team, and I saw what was happening to my coworkers back then. And then as I evolved and got more educated and became a research director for a large pharmacy, I got to work and interview and work side by side with a lot of war vets.
Okay.
So here's what happens. I've shot a video on this called Good Cop, Bad Cop on the Russ Scala YouTube channel. And I talked about how your neurological architecture and your brain chemistry from running on emergency scenes or being in the war zone can change over time. Again, nobody's talking about this. So a police officer, a firefighter, or a war veteran will go to this doctor and they'll list all the symptoms they're having. And a lot of these symptoms are nutritionally, hormonally, the symptoms are caused from nutritional hormonal deficiencies, but that isn't what happened. The veterans, the police officers, firefighters, or firefighters or paramedics go to their doctor. They say, I can't sleep at night, I'm gaining weight, and I'm having anxiety. The first thing that happens is they get put on an antidepressant, which masks the symptoms. They're not looking at testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, thyroid levels. They're not looking at something called the HPA-G axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. Another thing, anybody involved in emergency services or been in the war zone and actually in Iraq and in battle, their metabolism is completely different.
Okay.
They're on high alert, they come back, they're ramped up all the time, they can't, the policemen, war veterans, paramedics, the first thing I hear in our conversation is, I can't shut my brain off. So they use alcohol. Alcohol elevates GABA levels and calms their brain down. Or they eat copious amount of carbohydrates and sugar because that elevates serotonin and calms their brain down. Or on the extreme side, they use heroin. They use drugs. So you wonder why we're now looking at psilocybin, we're looking at ibogaine and these other therapeutic approaches that have never been looked at before, because we're not taking care of our first responders or our war veterans. I mean, they're getting put on antidepressants. Some of them are on 6, 7 different medications. Nobody's looking at what's on this chart here, and it all could be done in a half hour.
Well, let's talk about this chart. We have this. I want to kind of dive a little bit more into this advanced metabolic testing, and if you can explain how this all correlates.
Right. If I was to work with a patient, first of all, I want the patient educated. So I have to drip the science on them slowly, and I got to put it into a format that they understand. As we age, our organs just don't function as well, right? So it's called organ functionality. We know medicine, whether it's psychiatry, endocrinology, or general practitioner, they compartmentalize the body into their training, into what they know, but they never talk to each other. So what the patient or the patient's doing research and not getting answers on their condition, we'll just go around this thing slowly. Environmental toxins affect your metabolism. Environmental toxins elevate estrogen levels. Environmental toxins cause free radicals in the body. So if they know that, then everything they rub on their skin that's a chemical, they'll start to move it out. Is that rocket science?
No.
No. Okay.
When you so put it like that, right?
You wouldn't believe how I got to, anyway, it's like I got to talk to a physician and help regular patients understand. Nutritional deficiencies are tied to a lot of diseases. The doctors don't do nutritional testing.
And that's about our diet, correct?
No, it's actually advanced nutritional testing. the diet and nutrition goes hand in hand.
Okay.
As we age or when we're under stress, our intestinal tract doesn't pull nutrients out of food. So right now, today, you're going to use about 21 minerals, 13 vitamins, 9 amino acids, and 2 essential fats. If your intestinal tract is not pulling that out, your body's going to mine it from your own tissue, from your bone, brain, heart. So doing nutritional testing to check for deficiencies when you first come in the door, doesn't it seem normal?
Yeah.
Instead of just swallowing a bunch of synthetic
Yeah.
supplements, right?
How can you treat if you don't know what's happening?
So
inside?
now I offer the doctors, why don't you do nutritional testing on your patients and find out what they're deficient in? I mean, is that a stretch?
Not at all.
Mm-hmm. Hormonal deficiencies.
Yeah.
We start losing our hormones at 30, estrogen, progesterone. A woman has 3 different estrogens, estradiol, estrone, estriol. Our hormones are connected to every part of our body. Our heart has testosterone receptors on it. So if you were a new doctor and I said, Doc, all these symptoms, maybe you should do some hormonal testing. What do you think?
Wow.
Is that a stretch?
I see. I'm sensing a theme. Do you guys see a theme happening here?
No, I mean, is it?
It is.
Is it a
It's very
stretch?
simple. Yeah. Breaking it down.
The mitochondria, how we create energy every day.
Yeah.
Right? Think of our body. I'm talking to you like a doctor. Think of our body like a hybrid engine. All right? We could either burn glucose or we could burn fat. When your body's burning fat, it produces ketones. Our body loves ketones. Now, I'll get a lot of pushback on this, but there's something in the body called a Randle cycle. The Randle cycle is your body can burn glucose or it could burn ketones from fat. If you go on a ketogenic diet or you do intermittent fasting, your body increases ketones, which increase energy. Okay? If you eat a high carb diet and you elevate insulin and you elevate blood glucose, it shuts that off and creates inflammation.
Okay.
So we know that we all have the Randle cycle. We know that burning fat is better. We know from years of evolutionary biologists that we never ate 3 meals a day. We didn't have all this
We all have
processed
as
food.
much carbs in our food today as we have.
And I don't tweak everybody's diet right away because I know carbs are addicting. So you can't just cold turkey. So you got to meet the patient where they are.
Sure.
So the mitochondria is given to us by our mother. To give you an example, mitochondrial dysfunction is what leads to cancer. When your mitochondria in your heart, you probably got more mitochondria in your heart than any muscle in your body. And you very rarely ever see somebody with heart cancer, right?
Yeah.
So mitochondria are extremely important. The mitochondria love ketones. The mitochondria love when we burn fat because we create more energy. All right, so that's the overview, and that's a quick one. Usually this takes more time. So I say to a doc, wouldn't it be great? I mean, Doc, think about this. Diabetes, heart disease, cancer, dementia, they have a few things in common. Inflammation, he goes, yeah. I go, elevated blood glucose, yeah. I go, elevated insulin. He goes, wow. I go, why don't we use the ketogenic diet? I know you're not familiar with it, but I'll educate you. Because the ketogenic diet, Doc, for your patients, keeping the blood sugar down and insulin is critical for all 3 of those diseases. You may be the first guy in your neighborhood to do this. So why don't we do some mitochondrial testing? Is that a stretch?
And it went well.
Yeah, and I'm just saying. And we just talked about the ketogenic diet. You know, there's a lot of information. The ketogenic diet's been around for a long time. There was a Hollywood director named Abrams that did the Naked Gun movies.
JJ? No.
No. I know who you're talking about. But there was this Hollywood director, and this is a really cool story. I'll sum it up real quick. His son was having seizures.
Okay.
He went to 5 different doctors, neurologists, nobody could help him. And you could look this up. This is the same movie director that did Lorenzo's Oil. And Lorenzo's Oil was about the ketogenic diet. So he went to 5 doctors, neurologists all throughout California. He's a very wealthy man. Somebody mentioned the ketogenic diet right after his son had brain surgery and still was having seizures. He put his son on the ketogenic diet and his seizures stopped. And he didn't just stop there. He was actually extremely upset why he didn't hear about this diet before. After 2 years of his young baby having seizures, he goes on the ketogenic diet, the diet stops. So He shoots the movie Lorenzo's Oil that tells the story of the ketogenic diet. And then he starts the Charlie Foundation that educates doctors all over the United States for seizure patients to now introduce the ketogenic diet. My point to the story is everybody can benefit from the ketogenic diet, but the basic food pyramid, people being addicted to carbohydrates, they just don't know where to go. Intermittent fasting is critical. You know when the first important book on fasting came out with real research?
When?
Upton Sinclair wrote The Fasting Cure. Guess when he wrote it?
Oh my, I'm going to assume it was a very long time ago.
Just take a guess.
50 years.
1901.
It's a little bit off. I was a little bit off.
You read that, like I said, you read that book, what Upton Sinclair wrote. In fact, the reason he wrote that book.
The data is over 100 years old.
My point is, when he wrote that book, he was getting calls from all over the United States about people saying, how do I do this? It's healing me. I'm feeling good. All these testimonials. So he wrote the book, The Fasting Cure, in 1901, so he would stop getting phone calls.
Wow.
They had phones back then, right? Well, you know what I'm saying. 1901, they talked about the importance of fasting and keeping your blood sugar and insulin down. So we get captured, people work, they raise their families, they're taking the hits in the chest every day, they assume that their doctor has a lot of information. And the doctor does have a lot of information, but not in prevention. We're great at treating disease, you know.
And great at treating symptoms too. There was a statistic that shook me that I heard while I was doing the research for this conversation about patients over 50. A majority of them are taking 5 medications that only treat symptoms and not the underlying cause of their health issues. That is concerning.
Yeah, and again, you know, when I was a paramedic taking people into nursing homes in the early 80s, that always stays with me. I mentioned that in a couple of videos. I'm like, geez, we could be doing better.
Yeah.
I always opened up the refrigerator. There was orange juice, white bread. I had to get their insulin out of there. They were on 5 different medications. I picked this patient up. They're 85 pounds. They have no muscle. I'm like, what?
It's sad.
And now it's just starting to change. Now a lot of our work that you and I have done is focusing on muscle wasting. And, you know, we're educating a lot of people, a lot of physicians with what you and I are doing. And it's time because, you know, the pharmaceutical companies took over the training for physicians a long time ago. We're one of the only countries that advertise pharmaceuticals on TV. You've heard this 1,000 times. I'm not shooting down the pharmaceutical industry. Some of the drugs are amazing for people. But medicine, a regular patient has a general practitioner, has an endocrinologist, a diabetic doctor. I hear it all the time, Russ, I'm tired of going to doctors. Because traditional medicine compartmentalizes the body. So if a doctor incorporates this testing with a little bit of training, and he's got 2,000 patients, he's going to do something that's never been done before, right? And it's starting to happen. It's really good to see.
It is, and you mentioned how what we're doing and trying to push the word out there, and one of the ways you have done that is with your YouTube channel. Can you share with our viewers just why you started this channel and just kind of the heart behind that, what they can find?
Well, I always knew that transferring your learning to behavior, I wanted to make visuals. So, I don't know, I think it was 15 years ago I shot my first video. I try to upload videos every month, every couple of months. It's not like I'm an influencer on the internet every day, but I want to get real information and put it into people's hands so they can make smart decisions. And it's my way of giving back. I mean, you know, I was a paramedic before I went to graduate school, and I used to always wonder, I run on this, I respond to an emergency call, I help a guy that has a heart attack, and then I see him 3 weeks later doing the same thing. And I'm like, you know, there's got to be more from the prevention side. Again, I don't judge anybody, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, when you have a heart attack, you would think that'd be a wake-up call. For some folks, it's just, okay, it's business as usual.
Oh, dear.
What are you going to do? But I still enjoy this. I love what I do, and I love the people that I work with. I love what we do. So you gotta have a sense of humor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, when you have people die in your arms, it changes your life. Like every day I get up in the morning and I put my shoes on, I'm like glad to be here.
Absolutely.
A lot of my friends aren't.
Not everyone had a chance to wake up this morning, so
Yeah.
we need to be thankful for every day. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, I appreciate being able to talk with you, and I know our viewers are grateful for this information that you always share when you come here. So thank you so much, Russ, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for always doing your homework.
Absolutely. Great chatting with you.
Okay.
For more information on Scala Precision Health, you can head over to scalaprecisionhealth.com and the Russ Scala YouTube channel, where a wealth of free knowledge awaits you. You can also find Russ's book, American Biohacker, on Amazon. Thank you for watching.